Hello everyone, I hope you all are well. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Seyed Morteza Alizadeh and I'll be hosting and moderating today's webinar. But before we get started, I would like to demonstrate how you can prevent Blackboard, the platform that we are using for running today's webinar, from sending you pop-up notifications and other noise, which can be disturbing, during the session. So if you all can please go to my setting, um, which you can find it here by clicking on this Coke symbol here. By clicking on that, you can go to my setting, and then in my setting, click on notification setting, and then in the notification setting you see these boxes. So please untick all of these boxes, and then you will not receive any notification. So everyone, including our presenters, please make sure to disable the Blackboard notification, and that can be done by going to the notification settings and just untick these boxes. Now, today's webinar is about our Doctor of Engineering course. The title is Make a Difference with an EIT Doctor of Engineering in 2023. And the webinar will be presented by Professor Akhtar Kalam and also myself and one of our current DEng student, Mr. Allan Butler, who is also a senior SCADA engineer. Just as a frequently asked question about how to have access to the webinar presentation file. So everyone who registered for this webinar will receive a copy of the presentation slides in PDF format, and also the link to the video recording of this session. So the video link will be also uploaded in the EIT YouTube channel within 2 business days. But we'll send you or we email you the file in PDF format and also the link of the recording. And please make sure to check the junk email folder in your email account, because sometimes the email may go to the junk folder. And wait for maybe 2 business days, and then you receive the email. Just briefly about us, we are an engineering specialist education provider and one of only institutes in the world that specializes in engineering. We deliver short courses like professional certificates, and also we deliver diplomas, advanced diploma in vocational sector. We also deliver undergraduate and also graduate certificates, bachelor degree, master degree, and also a Doctor of Engineering course in higher education sector. We have industry-oriented programs, so all our courses are designed and updated by industry experts to ensure the course content remains current with rapidly changing technology and with industry developments. And also our vocational programs and also higher education degrees, they are registered and accredited by Australian government to ensure the course content remains current, and also they are all accredited by the government, Australian government. Some of our courses are also accredited and recognized internationally, and they have the accreditation, one of 3 international engineering accords, Sydney Accord, Dublin Accord, and Washington Accord. And our lecturers, they have all of them, they have industry experience. So we use industry experts and also people with lots of practical experience for teaching to our students. And we also have highly experienced supervisors for supervising our doctorate students. And when I go further, I can show you the list of our doctorate supervisors. And we have a unique delivery model, and that covers both online and also on-campus delivery modes. We provide comprehensive student support by our dedicated learning support officers and also academics. And we have a great source of various engineering software tools via the EIT remote laboratory. Now, I want to show you the structure of the webinar. So these are the main topics that we want to cover today: course structure, entry requirements, potential job outcomes, how to apply for the course, student support, DEng, supervisors, research topics, and application deadlines. And as I said, you will hear from a current DEng student, Allan, about his experience with the course, and also we have a session for question and answer to conclude the session. Now, briefly about myself, I'm coordinating research and research training at EIT, and also I'm one of the editors of topic on power system protection in MDPI publisher. And also I work with different various IEEE conferences and journals as a member of technical program committee and also editorial board. And I have done research and published papers in power system analysis, communication, control, protection, renewable systems, smart grids, IEC 61850 implementation, and cogeneration systems. And I have already supervised 7 higher degree research students, and I'm currently working with 7 doctorate students as a supervisor. Now, I would like to pass it over to Professor Kalam. Hi, Professor, and hand over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alizadeh. First of all, good day to all of you. And I start with acknowledging the elders and those who are the custodian and the owners of the land that we are talking from today. I am the Deputy Chair of EIT's Academic Board, and I work in Victoria University, where I was also a former Deputy Dean. At the moment, I'm Head of External Engagement. I've got co-current appointments at various other universities, which is in Australia, overseas. Fundamentally, there are about 5 Indian universities and 3 Malaysian universities. I have appointments over there too. Currently editor-in-chief of Australian Journal of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. I do a lot of consultancy work for the industry and have published a lot of papers and books. A number of students have graduated under my supervision, and an external supervisor of many students. Again, my area is very similar to that of Dr. Alizadeh, and we work together as a team too. So I don't want to repeat that. It's the same, practically the same area. Can I go to my next slide that I'm going to and start my presentation? First of all, what I want to tell you is the subtle difference between a world-class universities and world-class higher education. In world-class universities, if you look carefully, they are very high in ranking. We're talking about Stanford, California, Manchester, MIT, Imperial College. Those are very high in ranking list. In Australia, we would rank that as Melbourne University, and University of Western Australia and other universities. Naturally, coming from such high universities, there is recognition as far as employment is concerned, and you find that these world-class universities uh, have real world-class research too. In fact, it is very, very dedicated to world-class research, cutting-edge technology, as well as research which is of academic in nature. And if again looking from that world-class universities, the universities are big. When you talk about big universities, we are talking about 20,000, 40,000, 50,000 students in there. Whereas the higher education providers, which are world class, they have a different skill set. They are recognized internationally. They benchmark and partner with a lot of other institutions. Whether it is at EIT, we partner with a lot of staff members globally. We have got benchmarking with number of universities, and we are internationally recognized. We've got students from all over the world in our on campus as well as online delivery. Uh, the other advantage with this type of higher education sector is that uh, the graduate employability I found is of long-term nature, and they get job pretty easily because they're hands-on type of engineers. A lot of stress is done in teaching, learning, and assessment. This is one of the things that we skill. It is more important that we provide education because we believe in lifelong learning, and therefore we have to satisfy the international performance standard. And most of our scholarly activity is confined to this teaching, learning, and assessments. Now, coming back to professional doctorate program, I remember I started this program some time back, and we have I think that this is our third batch of students that is in our system at the moment. But uh, one of the things is that we want to make sure that you understand that you have to come up with original and significant contribution. Now you can't be doing cut and paste job and do a professional doctorate program. But the stress is more on development activity, application, and evaluation of professional knowledge. So you will be using your practical problems that has demonstrated importance in your employment context and use it in the engineering and technical knowledge and advance and enhance your skills. So you contribute to the knowledge of science by utilizing the skills that you've got in your practical side purely from your work experience. Now, this qualification is recognized in Australia by a body called TEXA, and this TEXA is a national quality assurance and regulatory agency for higher education. Without TEXA's approval, we're not able to provide any higher education certificate. So first thing is that you get a qualification with level 10, which is the highest level. 3 years duration. You can do it online or on campus, so you can do it virtually as well as on campus. You don't have to be in Perth or Melbourne. Perth is where our main campus is, and Melbourne, we have got another campus. You don't have to be there. You can be in any part of the world and do the program. The structure is very simple. Altogether, in 3 years, you got 120 credit points. There is a coursework element that is 32 credit points, and 88 credit points is fundamentally your research coursework and doctoral dissertation. So the whole idea is that you do about one third, say 30% coursework and 70% is research. Then, uh, as I mentioned right in the beginning, this is a professional doctorate program. So remember this. This is not a traditional PhD program that you might have heard about. This is suited to those who want to be involved with the industry, who want to look at realistic problems, who are interested in solving industry issues. So there's a subtle difference. This is a practical oriented program where your research component, and naturally that research component has to have an original part, will be purely from the industry problem. So it's a real problem. It is not a figment of imagination. It's not purely a simulation work. It is absolutely looking at the hardware of the equipment that you have used or will be using. Whereas the PhD one, which majority of the people do, is basically academic or scientific research. So you skill academically over there. Here you skill in a real problem which is suitable for industry. So you find a lot of PhD program, and if you're very serious, you can go to, for the PhD program, you can go to MIT, Cambridge, Oxford, you know, UCLA, Stanford, you name it. But remember, this will give you the academic or scientific research career. But if you are working as a professional, working in the industry, you want to be able to solve problems that will benefit the industry and society at large. Then and only then you should consider DEng. Now, I believe that there are some, and that's why I suggested this program when I suggested this about 5 to 6 years back. And my reasoning was that there were some issues with PhD. I myself have done a PhD. Dr. Alizadeh has done his PhD. Okay, but I want to tell you what are the drawbacks of those PhD. Uh, Here in PhD program, you get very limited supervision. Okay, and so fundamentally, you are left on your own, and this could be uh, quite unsatisfactory as far as the students is concerned, and therefore you find a lot of dropout rates in PhD program. Um, Whereas in the PhD one, supervision is not very tight. So what happens is that you take a project and you go and work on your own, you know, uh, and then you come and do your submission. Is the quality right? Is it worth it? Is it of any use to the community? Is it of any use to the industry? That is questionable. So in the PhD one, there are no practical outcomes, right? And I've seen many people just using simple MATLAB or Simulink and doing their PhD work. Fine, I mean it must be groundbreaking, but in the same token, I can't see how the application is. And the other thing is that one of the problems with the PhD program is that there are no coursework element. So the rigor and the understanding of high standards, which is required for a very high quality research-based approach, is not there because you do not have the fundamentals or the scaffolding that is required for your research work. And therefore, you find that the PhD program can take very long. 7 years. I've heard of students having 10 years in a PhD program, whereas here it's very focused. In 3 years or equivalent, we want you to finish the program. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is that when I'm talking about DEng versus PhD, in the DEng one, we are looking at applied research. So here you will be developing specialized skills that will be for practical experience, the practical application, and that will be applied in the engineering workforce. So immediately you can see that there'll be a direct and immediate benefits to the industry. So you will be providing or preparing for a professional engineering career, and you are going to become a practicing engineer, not necessarily an academic. You can become an academic too, but not necessarily. You have a wider horizon because you can be very much suitable to the industry too. So here you will come up with a very high technical competence. You'll be innovative, and you can take a lot of leadership role, which is lacking in many engineering PhDs. Now, one of the things we have done is that we have built sufficient support systems, um, and we understand and we know that Sometimes online or blended model can work really well today with the available modern technologies, and therefore we are utilizing that. The support system that you have is from the collegial support. Okay, not only from your colleagues who are doing the DEng work, but also from supervisors, lecturers, peers, because you come to know them when you are doing the comprehensive coursework program. So you understand that you will be in very close contact with your colleague. You're not working in a silo of all by yourself. And the beauty of this program, especially in IT, every student is allocated an LSO, which is a learning support officer, who will be there guiding you in every step of your DEng journey. So this can become a marker for you. You will find that you'll be working in a very high quality applied research. Remember that word, applied research. And that research will be applicable to the industry, and the graduate can become a chartered or a professional engineer. Okay. Other things you can see in Wikipedia about Doctor of Engineering program. Now the course structure. This is what you want to know. And I did say that you've got coursework. Look at that. There are, can you see? In the first two terms, which is one semester, you've got 4 subjects that you have to choose from. These are 4 credit point subjects, and this is the coursework element. But in order to keep the flavor that you are a doctor student, half the year you also spend on the research project. Then in the second year, again, you do a quarter of a subject in the first semester and a quarter of a subject in the second semester. So that is another 8 and 8, 16. And then you have got the rest of them is coursework element, 28 credit points of research element. And the last one, the last year, this is when your final year is, you will be spending all that in research. So as I told you, coursework element, 32 hours, 32 credit points, then research element, 88, altogether 120. And that will be completed in 3 years' time. Now, you might not be interested in 1 or 2 subjects, that's no problem. You might have done these subjects, no problem. We can give you either an RLP, which is recognized prior, RPL, which is recognized prior learning, or we can suggest to you other equivalent subject from our coursework element. Now, why should you come to EIT? Why should you do DEng? That's a question that people ask me. First of all, it's flexible. And that's the beauty of this program. It is flexible. You can do it online, and therefore it works very nicely for professionals. I mean, there are students who say, okay, we want to work from 9 to 2, and from 2 onward, I want to. So it's flexible. It gives you that opportunity that you're working in the industry and still you can do it. The delivery model is unique. And believe me, we have more than 10 years experience in such type of delivery model. The program is industry oriented, suitable for the industry, by the industry, to the industry. So there is benefit not only to you, but to your academic who are your supervisors and to the industry. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. It's work integrated. That means you will be working in your workplace. We will definitely not ask you to leave your job. And you will be able to solve problems. Naturally, you need to be passionate. If you're not passionate, half the battle is lost. Because unless and until you're not passionate, you will not be innovative and you'll not be able to adapt to this flexible way of learning. Now, research, naturally, it has to be independent investigation. Therefore, we will help you to design your problem so that it is significant. We have got staff members who have got expertise and experience who can tell you whether the project is worth it or not, because you do not want to just repeat someone else's work. Remember, the work has to be original, because that is how the doctorate is judged at, its original contribution to the knowledge. Then the contribution. You will be in the highest level of professional practice. So this will be the one that will make you the top level, top tier person in your area with a DEng program. Then the next slide, I just want to tell you the hybrid curriculum. So it is not only the institution like EIT which is there. The profession has to be involved and workplace has to be involved too. So you will find that all three parties, university, workplace, and profession, that will make your hybrid curriculum of the professional doctorate program. Now, jobs. This is one question people ask me. Will I get a job? Yes. My answer is you are not only confined, after a PhD, you're confined to an academic sector. No. Here you can work in a business sector, you can work in government agency, you can work in the industry. So a broader horizon of places where you can work with. If you want to work in the academia, fine. Okay. You will contribute to the local and international profile and reputation. If you want to work in a private sector or in a business, okay, you can do that. You can improve product, process, or services, and you will provide competitive edge because you come with an innovative product. You can work in a government agency where you can look at hiring researchers or professionals where specialist knowledge and skills are required. My last presentation today is the entry requirement. How do you want to get in? Naturally, you will have to have some basic qualification. The first thing is to have a bachelor's degree, and the minimum qualification is second class honors. Okay, you have to have a master's degree. If you do not have that second class honors, at least you must have a master's. This is not second class honors. Second class honors upper, H2A. So division A is upper. So, and the other one is that if you don't have that, if you don't have, say for argument's sake, you got a division B, you should have a master's degree. If you don't have that, you have to satisfy to the dean or the delegate. In this case, the delegate could be Dr. Alizadeh, where he or the dean or the deputy dean will see whether you are fit to undertake such type of program. We just don't want people to come in the program just for the heck of it and after 2 months they leave. We want you to be prepared, be ready, because it is very important that you stay with us in this journey of 3 years. So, as I said, a relevant 4-year degree program, you have to submit a resume which shows you can't be a fresh graduate, which shows that you've got 5 years of professional practice. And you're going to be able to produce some sort of substantial original professional contributions in engineering. And English language, this is a must in Australia. You must have an English language proficiency. And we look at IELTS score. I think the IELTS score is 6.5 or 6, I don't remember. But that Dr. Alizadeh can clarify. But even if it doesn't clarify, you can find all these information in this website. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Dr. Alizadeh. I leave it to you. I've got an
Thank you very much.
IEEE presentation, so I have to leave. I'm sorry, but if there are questions, Dr. Alizadeh will take it. And if there's some questions personally for me, please let Dr. Alizadeh know, and I will send it back to you. Send him an email, and I will respond back. Thank you very much, and take care, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Professor. Really appreciate your time. It was great information, very insightful. So I start with pathway and credit. As Professor Kalam showed the program structure, in this course, the student needs to complete 6 coursework units, but they may be eligible to apply for credit for some of these coursework units through prior recognition learning or RPL process. So a DEng student can apply for RPL at the time of enrollment, or maybe at the time of admission or after enrollment. And if the RPL is successful and they receive credit for a unit, then the student doesn't need to study that unit. Just take note that RPL cannot be granted towards a thesis or dissertation that has been done somewhere else. So this means, for example, if you have done part of your thesis in another university or another institute, and you want to submit that thesis for credit here, your RPL will not be accepted. So we don't give credits or RPL for thesis and dissertation. Now, the maximum credit points that you may receive through RPL is 8 credit points, as you can see here. These 8 credit points may be granted if you are if you have a coursework master degree from EIT or another recognized institute or university, or if you have a master degree by research from a recognized institute, or if you have a professional doctorate degree from a recognized institute or university, you may get 8 credit points through RPL. Now, Professor Kalam showed the 3 ways for directly getting to the course. So you need to have a bachelor with honors or graduate diploma, or you should have a master degree, or you should have a 4-year bachelor degree plus a minimum of 5 years work experience. But let's say you don't have a bachelor with honor and you don't have a master degree. In that case, you should have a 4-year bachelor. But if the bachelor is not 4 years, let's say it's 3 years bachelor, then you will not be accepted for the direct entry. So in that case, what we can do, we offer you or we encourage you to study a graduate diploma at EIT or the first year of a master course at EIT. And then when you complete graduate diploma or the first year of the master course, then you can apply for the DEng program. Now, here you can see how you can apply for the course. So almost all the information that we present today, you can find it online in the EIT website on the course page. So please make sure to visit our website, and then you need to fill an online form. And once you complete the online form and submit your inquiry, then one of our course advisors will contact you about your inquiry, and then they will give you some information, general information about the course. And after that, you will receive an email which provides you with details about the start date of the course, cost of the program, and a link to our online application portal where you can submit your application. To submit your application, you need to prepare some documents. You need to have a CV or resume, and then you also need to prepare 500-word statement, expression of interest statement, showing why you want to do DEng, what is the motivation. And also you need to provide a 1,000-word research proposal, and this research proposal is tentative proposal. So this means this proposal is just to give some ideas about your initial research plan to our research committee. So we need to know what is your research interest and what is your initial research plan, and based on that we can organize interview panel, and based on that we can allocate supervisor. That's why we need this 1,000-word research proposal. But it is tentative. That means it may be changed. So the topic, your research topic, may be changed once you meet with your supervisor and consult with your supervisor. The project topic may change slightly or completely change. And I know that you need to have some ideas for writing a research proposal. It's very obvious that to write a research proposal, you need to come up with a research idea first. And in the following slides, I show you some of the research topics of our current DEng students, so you can get some ideas about research topics. But if you don't have a clear idea about your research topic, then we are happy to help you, and you can let your course advisor know that you want to get some information about the research topic, and then your course advisor can link you with one of our academics in your research field, and then they can help you to write or to provide or to prepare, basically to prepare your research proposal. And once everything is ready, your CV and your 500 words statement, expression of interest statement, your research proposal, tentative proposal is ready, and the other documents are ready, then you can submit your application using our online system, and then your application will be reviewed and assessed by our admission committee against the entry requirements. And if the admission committee believe that your application meet the criteria or entry requirements, then they will pass it to us in the research committee. And in the research committee, we look at your applications, documents that you sent, your research proposal, your resume, and all the other supporting documents. And if everything is okay, then we'll send you an email and invite you for about 30 minutes interview to ask you about your research background, and also some questions about your research proposal. And if you successfully complete the interview, then you are good to be enrolled. So our department will send you letter of offer, and once you get the letter of offer, you need to sign it and then return it. And once you return the letter of offer, then you are enrolled to the program. And once you get into the program, then we provide you with lots of support. So from the first day, you have access to our dedicated learning support officers. Learning support officer is not an academic, but for each one of the coursework units, you have a learning support officer or LSO. And our LSO are basically the first point of contact for you if you have any issue or any problem in terms of academic problems or maybe administrative issues, then the first point of contact are the LSOs. And I, as the research coordinator, also discuss with you about any issue that you may have with your thesis or maybe with your supervisor, and try to help you if there is anything in particular during the course. And we will run a very comprehensive orientation within the first 2 weeks of the course, and we'll show you some basic information that you need to know before you start the course. Now, academics, regarding the coursework units, as you know, you have 6 coursework units in this program. And these units, they are taught and delivered by our academics. And you can go to the live tutorial sessions, and you have access to the lecturers, to your lecturers. So if you have any questions, any problems, you can send an email to them, or if is very necessary, you may have a one-to-one meeting with your lecturer to ask your questions and get some more support. Now, in terms of research units, these are directed by your principal supervisor and also associate supervisor. So all students have one principal and one or maybe more than one associate supervisor. And in some cases, depending on the type of project, we may allocate an industry supervisor as well. And the role of supervisor is very important in the doctorate course. And I will show you the list of our principal supervisor and associate supervisor when we go further. Now you need to submit and publish papers. So we ask students for conference or journal papers, and you have our support for publishing your paper. So EIT financially support you with the cost of the publication, and your supervisor will technically support you how to prepare the papers and which conference or which journal you can target to submit your paper, and basically what is publications, and give you some information about this part of the work. You also have access to EIT library. Here you can find lots of resources, many research articles, journal or conference articles here, and many other materials and resources that you can use for your research. And we also provide the student with the study support, and this means each semester we have professional development or PD sessions for our students. And these PD sessions, they will be presented by our academics or by the principal supervisors, and they give you information about some topics that are useful for your research project. For example, topics like how to do literature review, or how to reference article using referencing software, or how to improve your presentation skills, and so on. And you can also participate in the EIT internal conferences, or you can participate in our research competitions like 3-minute thesis competition, and get connected with peers in your research area. And also you have access to the EIT remote lab, where you can use various software tools that commonly used in industry. So we have a very good source of software tools, and you can use this software remotely for your research project or for completing the assessment of the coursework units. And also we financially support our students by giving them scholarships. So let me go to the next slide to show you the main scholarships that we can offer to the students. We have mainly three types of scholarships. As you can see, EIT Doctorate Research Scholarship, EIT Dean's High Achiever Doctorate Scholarship, and Assistantship. I should say that these three are not only scholarships that we can offer. We have some other scholarships as well, but for some special cases, not for all applicants. For example, we have a scholarship for our staff. So if our staff, they have master's degree and they want to do a doctorate, then they can use a staff scholarship. But these three are the scholarships that we can offer to almost all the students. And all three scholarships, they are valid only for one semester. So if someone is interested in getting a scholarship in the next semester or in the following semester, they need to apply for the scholarship at the end of each semester. So it's semester by semester, and let me go through details for each one of them. The first one, Doctorate Research Scholarship. So as you can see here, it waives the fee or tuition fee completely. So for one semester, you don't pay anything for your study. And we have 4 scholarship or 4 positions available each semester. 2 for Melbourne campus and 2 for Perth campus students. So the point here is this scholarship is only applicable to students who want to study on campus. But if a student wants to study online, then they cannot apply for this scholarship. And this scholarship is applicable to both domestic and international students. So only for on campus, this is what we can offer. But these two can be given to both on campus and online students. And they are also applicable to domestic and international students. So if you're online, you can apply for one of these two. And if you are on campus, you can apply for all of them. And in the case of the second scholarship, Dean's High Achievers Scholarship, so this save 25% of the tuition fee. So you don't need to pay 25% of the tuition fee using this scholarship. And the number of positions that we can offer is 2 positions per semester. And this scholarship, as you can see, it can be applied to, as I said, to domestic and international students. And same with this one, assistantships. This one is also given to both online and on-campus students, and domestic and international students. So everyone can apply for this scholarship. There is not any limitation in terms of number of positions, so we don't have any limitations. And this scholarship, using this scholarship, you don't pay 10% of the tuition fee. And apart from that, you may be paid because of your academic works. So in this scholarship, our academics will allocate you with some tasks, some academic tasks, for example, marking assessments or helping with tutorials and so on. And based on the number of hours given to the task, you will be paid for your job. And the pay rate for this scholarship is 32 Australian dollar per hour for your academic tasks. So $10 discount plus 32 Australian dollar per hour for your academic tasks that can be offered with these scholarships. And if you want more information about the scholarships, for example, the eligibility criteria, then you can find the information online. You just need to go to the EIT website in the course page, click on the scholarships, and then filter the page for doctorate course. And then you can see the eligibility criteria and the other information for each one of these scholarships. Now, I want to show you the list of our supervisors. So we have Professor Kalam in electrical engineering. We have Professor Vivian Tom in civil engineering from the University of Western Sydney, Australia. We have Associate Professor Mehran Iktisabi from Swinburne University in electrical engineering. Professor Asad Naked Haddad from Federal University of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and Professor Haddad is in civil engineering. Associate Professor Zubair Bek from Deakin University in Australia and in IT and cyber security. Associate Professor Daniel Lau from Victoria University in Australia and in electrical engineering and electronic engineering. And also you can see the list of our other supervisors, principal supervisors, with their affiliations here. So as you can see in these slides, we use highly experienced supervisors who have supervised many doctorate students, and that is good for us because we can make sure that our DEng students, they are all guided well, and they have good supports from their supervisors. And here you can see the member of EIT Research Committee, and we are happy to help you from in different steps of your study in the DEng course. So we are also associate supervisor for some of the DEng students, and in terms of the support, the type of support that we can do, for example, we can help you with the topics and to finalize the topics along with your principal supervisors. So in terms of topic, and just to give you some ideas about the topics of our current DEng students, so I listed some topics of our students here. For example, these are some topics of our students in civil engineering, DEng student in civil engineering. So as you can see, our students in civil, they are working on projects related to civil and structure, or related to maybe construction, and also related to, let's say, water engineering. And this slide shows the research topic of current students in electrical engineering. For example, this is related to, I think, to a project that Allan is doing, energy demand decision for hydrogen production. And also our students are working on harmonics and how to mitigate harmonics in electrical systems. And for example, developing a cost-effective robot for healthcare purpose, and so on, many other topics that you can see once you get the PDF file of this presentation. And you can see that some other topics, for example, topic related to process engineering, related to IT, cybersecurity, and related to mechanical engineering. Now, in the case of topic, if you have a topic in mind, that's very good, that's excellent, and feel free to write a proposal, tentative proposal based on your topic. But if you don't have enough idea about the topic, then send an email to us by Doctor of Engineering at EIT.edu, and then we can help you, we give you some information about some potential topics that you can target. Now, in terms of time commitment and duration, again, as Professor Kalam mentioned, the course is 3 years for full-time students and 6 years, at least 6 years for part-time students. For full-time modes, the students need to spend a minimum of 20 hours per fortnight for their coursework units, and a minimum of 60 hours per fortnight for their research units. And for part-time mode, the time commitment is half of the time commitment for full-time. So this means 10 hours per fortnight for coursework units, and a minimum of 30 hours per fortnight for research units for on-campus mode. For a part-time mode. Now, the course is delivered into 2 modes, online and on-campus. In the case of on-campus, so it's required that the students attend the class on campus for their live tutorial, and also they need to be on the campus 2 separate days each day for at least 2 hours. So this is the minimum requirements, but obviously we encourage the students to be on campus as much as they can, because they can then get some more support from the academics. And in the case of deadline, application deadline, if you want to apply for online, then the application deadline is 27th of January next year. And if you want to study on campus, then for applicants who are in Australia, the deadline is 10th Feb 2023, And for applicants who are overseas, then the deadline is 13th January 2023. And to summarize or basically to finish my session, I just want to talk about, briefly talk about one of the events that we organized for our DEng students. One of the latest event that we organized was EIT 3-minute thesis competition. And the main idea of this competition was to build up the students, to help the students to build up their capacity in terms of delivering and communicating their research finding effectively and succinctly. And for this purpose, we organized a competition and asked the student to provide only one slide showing the content or the main content or main finding of the research, and present that slide in only 3 minutes in a language that is appropriate for a non-specialist audience. And this competition is very popular around the world at many universities. We have 3 minutes competition, and we did this competition at EIT as well. And there are some awards for the winner and also for the runner-up of the competition. And I am glad to say that this year, Mr. Allan Butler could achieve the winner award. So I would like to pass the session to Allan to share his experience in the course and also present the 3 minutes slide. Thank you. Allan, I think you are muted. You need to unmute yourself first. You are not muted, but maybe there is a problem with the audio, so maybe you can take off the microphone. Yeah, I could hear something.
Yeah, there we go. I think it just started off. There we go.
That's right.
It was working earlier.
So
Thank you for that, Alizadeh. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Do you want to just move over to the next slide, mate? The next one again. All right, so I'm one of the students that actually came to EIT with a master's degree. I've actually got 2 master's degrees. I got another one from the University of Western Australia in business administration as well. I've actually been a lecturer at EIT, and in fact, I was looking through some of the names in the participants here today, and I noticed a couple who I've actually taught, that's great to see. I work for a gas company. I work for one of Australia's largest gas companies, actually. I head up a team of 120, I think it's about 122 or 123 now, engineers. They look after the operational technology arm of the Australian Gas Infrastructure Group. I'm actually a chartered engineer, a fellow of the Engineers Australia, an APEC engineer, as well as registered with the Queensland Board of Engineers as well. I've been an engineer now, I think it must be 26 or 27 years, something like that. And yep, here I am. I'm still doing. I'm at EIT, and I'm still learning as I go. Then next slide, please, Dr. Alizadeh. So why did I choose EIT? Well, I think for the main reason is I am actually working. I have a family. I still have to support those guys. I do work full time, but I'm keen on getting more information and actually entering that academic / scientific area. I mean, because I actually head up such a large team of engineering professionals, it's good to be in the front of that. I've enjoyed the prospect of actually doing doing the dissertation, the engineering dissertation. I've spent many hours actually presenting to different conferences and that sort of thing, not just on hydrogen, but on engineering ethics and a few other bits and pieces. So it's quite a diverse field, and I think that's what EIT actually hand over as well. But we're going to be running out of time if I don't kick it along a little bit. So the next one, please, Dr. Alizadeh. So what I've done so far, I'm actually in, I think it's like 2 years to go at the moment. Yeah, 2 years to go. So I'm pretty much into the research area of the DEng now. I've actually published a couple of papers. My supervisor is actually Dr. Kalam. I found Professor Kalam to be incredibly good. He pushes hard though. He really makes sure that you're producing the work and you're getting on top of it. So that in itself, it's a good thing, very good thing. My current research is on the efficiency of hydrogen production. So as you may or may not know, Australia is actually going through a bit of a re-identification with energy and energy reforms, and we all know that Australia just recently they joined the accord where they have to hit net zero in the next by 2030. Don't know whether they're going to achieve it, but we're certainly going to give it a good crack. So one of the initiatives is to actually move towards hydrogen production, and the whole idea of using hydrogen production using electrolysis and green energy is to try to save or to actually store energy which is produced from green energy for use at a later date. Next slide, please, Dr. Alizadeh. This is just my goal. So what I can tell prospective students is if you want to do a doctorate so you can get a title where you have doctorate in front of your name, you may want to reconsider. It's not about that, is what I'm trying to say. It's about doing something that will be good for the environment, it'll be good for the industry, and it'll be good for the next generations to come after you. That's what it's all about, and it's really getting to the area where you're able to produce some scientific research for the betterment of humanity. The next slide, please, Doctor. So yes, I was surprised I won the 3-minute challenge. There were quite a few different students. I think there was 12 or 13. There was quite a few students who actually participated in the challenge, and the quality of the work that came out was amazing, absolutely amazing. So yes, I was actually very surprised that I actually won. So I'm a little bit amazed. Next slide, please, Doctor. So for my research, and I'm actually not going to take 3 minutes of your time, but so I'm going to give you a real quick understanding of this, okay? So what we know is that green energy, let it be from wind or from solar, it is a little bit inconvenient. It can actually produce energy when we don't actually need it. So when the load is low and the generation of green electricity is high, but let it be with wind, solar, or any of the other green renewable energy, we can't do anything with it. So we need to be able to store that. So we know we can store that in as a battery. That's not a bad idea, but that doesn't really, it's not appropriate for everything. So actually producing hydrogen, as we know is a gas, so we actually use H2O and then we split those atoms up. So you get hydrogen, then you get the oxygen from the water using whether it's a PEM or an alkalizer type of electrolyzer. You store that energy as a gas, and then you take that gas and then you use it to generate more electricity when it's more convenient to be used. So in South Australia, for instance, in Tonsley Park, I was part of the commissioning and the infrastructure team that actually produced the world's first, well, sorry, not the world's first, but the world's largest production electrolyzer, which is actually supplying 4,000 homes in South Australia with hydrogen. So essentially what we're doing is we're taking hydrogen, we're putting it into the gas distribution network, and mums and dads and people in their homes, around 4,000 homes around Tonsley Park, are actually burning hydrogen as a commingled gas with natural gas at the moment. So the problem with that we have, certainly in Australia, right, is that we need to be able to determine the most effective or the most efficient time to be able to produce that hydrogen. So to be able to do that, we need to be able to predict. Now, predicting, there's quite a few different methods you can use. You can use ANN, which is artificial neural networks, or you can use RNN, which is recurrent neural networks. And essentially what that does is that takes information from various different areas, whether it's from AMO or whether it's from the weather, takes it from the load, takes it from the generating companies. It brings it into one place. It uses predictive algorithms to determine when when the load is going to be low and when your generating capacity is going to be high, and hopefully you can get that within a 7-day period. So that way you can then determine when is the best time to run your electrolyzer. And history tells us that it is somewhere between 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 4 o'clock in the 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So there's a 3-hour period there where we are generating a lot of electricity, but it's just not being used, which then causes capacitance within the distribution system and that sort of thing. So taking all this information, the idea is then to actually bring it to AMO and bring it to the customers. So the overall objective is to reduce the cost of electricity, because we're using green electricity more and more and more, but to actually increase the reliability of the electricity supply as well. So that's essentially the research, but the research centers on that predictability and using recurrent neural networks to be able to predict the low and the high periods of low load, high generation capacity. I've actually just beat that out in about less than 2 minutes, and I can tell you when I did the competition, it went for 3 minutes. I guess Dr. Alizadeh, the next slide I don't think is mine. I'm not sure.
I don't think, Allan. I think, yeah, that was the last slide for you.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
thank you very much, Allan. Thank you, it was great.
No worries. I'm kind of conscious of the fact that we're going well over that hour now, mate, so I figured I'd cut it short a little bit for you.
That was great. Thank you very much. And so again, at the end of your thesis presentation, 3 minutes thesis presentation, I said that, but let me say it again, that hydrogen production is absolutely a very hot research topic at the moment. I know that it's not a new or very new topic, but still there are many things that needs to be done in this area. And your project, the use of RNN for hydrogen production, is a very clever, smart idea, and well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, Dr. Alizadeh.
Thank you. Okay, so I just want to wrap up the session with showing the details of our coming webinar, which is about greener and better concrete with supplementary materials. And this webinar will be presented by our lecturer, Dr. Shasha Wang. And this provides an insight into our advanced diploma of civil and structure. And here is the time. It is Wednesday, 7th of December at 2 p.m. Australian West. So if you want to attend this webinar, please make sure to register for it. Then you can get the link of the webinar and you can enjoy the webinar. I think that was it for today, and next slide is just question and answer. So please let us know if you have any question. I can see you check the chat box. The delivery of lectures are mainly in the evening. So the timing for lectures. So first of all, lectures will be recorded. So we have tutorial online. So the tutorial will be live, but the lecture sessions, they will be pre-recorded. So you can check the recording of the lectures. But after checking the recording of the lecture, then you can attend for the live tutorial, and the live tutorial will be scheduled based on the availability of a majority of the students and also the lecturer. So it can be evening or it can be morning. So it will be a schedule based on the availability of the majority. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I think let me just show you our contact details. So the website, EIT website, and you also have if you have any questions or any inquiries about the webinar, you can send an email to this email account, webinars@eit.edu.au, and you can also check our courses online in the EIT website. And here is the address of our head office, and the phone inside and also outside Australia. Just one question from Soon. May I know minimum credit for continuing the study as the part-time and maximum period to study? For each semester, you need to have at least 1 unit. So this is the minimum credit point or minimum number of units that you can take in 1 semester in part-time. And the maximum duration is 8 years. So it is between 6 and 8 years. 6 is minimum duration for part-time and 8 is maximum. If I apply for online course, those in any I need to visit before completing my course, or everything will be completed online? Thank you. Okay, if you apply for online course, you need to so yeah, as I showed, for applying, you need to first fill an online inquiry form, and then based on the location that you are, one of our course advisor will contact you and will give you about, information that you need for the application, and will help you with the application as well. If I apply for online, I think yeah, I answered this question. Okay, yeah. Do I in any way need to visit campus before completing my course, or everything will? No, you don't need to visit the campus. If you want to apply, you don't need to visit the campus beforehand. You can apply you can apply online, and that's it. Okay, great. I think we are running out of time. Just feel free to send an email to us if you have any questions, any inquiry about the webinar. Please feel free to send an email to us, and we'll be more than happy to provide you with the information. And thank you very much, everyone, for your time and for your participation. Hopefully, we'll see you at EIT. Thank you. Have a good day.